guys, jambo, habari yenyu, hope you're doing well. Karibuni sana back to my channel. Thank you because of all of you who have subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribing ni bure kabisa. It will not cost you a single penny. It's that red subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel and join Team Baraka. If you are new here, karibu sana. My name is Sharon wa Baraka. Now into serious business, guys. Today I'm going to be telling you about the jobs that are going on here in the US, jobs for nurses. So if you're a nurse, call another nurse, tell them Sharon akona maneno mzuri, kujeni hapa msikilize. If you want to relocate to come to the US under the nursing program, niko na information yenyu poa sana. Yes, so this is the video that I want to talk to you about, and without further ado, guys, I'm going to be sharing the links here down with you. I'm going to open my laptop so that I share the information with you and you get to see for yourself. I'm going to show you the agencies that are recruiting nurses from abroad, and they can get you jobs here in the US. You can apply from the UK, you can apply from Kenya, you can apply from Africa, you can apply basically from everywhere. Yeah, but watu wangu wa Kenya, leo ninawaibia siri. Kuna Wakenya wengi sana hapa by the way wamekuja. I have met so many ambao wamekuja na hii nini ya ambao wamekuja na the nursing program. They are already here. They are working in the US hospitals or hospitals here. I have seen all of them and they're doing really well. Najaribu kuongea ki-America, but wapi anguka nayo. Anyway, let me be serious, guys. So this one is Passport USA, is the first agency that I'm going to share with you guys. And with passport agencies, they are obviously recruiting nurses that are qualified. You have to be a qualified nurse or healthcare professionals. You have to be qualified for you to get the EB3 or the EB2 visa. But what they have said is the EB3, that's a green card. When I say EB3, that means it's a work green card, is usually the most visa that is usually petitioned for nurses. And that is because it maximizes your chances of having your visa petition approved. But if you would like to apply for the EB2, what they have said is occasionally nurses may qualify also for the EB2 visa. However, the US position that they will be filing must require an advanced degree. So the EB2 is for advanced practitioners, you know, people like scientists, people who are coming to do PhD or they have PhD. So those advanced practitioners are who would mainly apply for the EB2 visa. So for nurses and other professionals, the EB3 visa is the visa that is more likely to be approved. You'll still be able to immigrate to the US with your family, regardless whether you go for the EB2 or the EB3. The only difference is that there are qualifications that you must meet before you can apply for the EB3 or the EB2. So EB3 family of visas, it says it's an immigrant visa preferred category for United States employment-based permanent residency. It is intended for skilled workers, professionals, and other workers. That means you can also be a healthcare professional and you'll still qualify for the EB3 family visa. So, and the bottom line is the EB3 applicants, they all require a sponsoring employer. So you have to have an employer that is willing to sponsor you to come and work for them. And Passport USA, this agency that I'm telling you about, can find you an employer such as a hospital maybe, or any other employer that is willing to sponsor your visa, and they're there to be the the gap or the bridge that helps you to reach your employer. There's also different ways you can actually work you can work for the agency, or you can do direct hire. So they normally call it, one is direct hire, or the other one is staffing agency. So direct hire is when once Passport USA gets you to the USA, they hand you over, wanakupatia employer mwenye anakupatia hiyo job, and you work directly with them. So you're not paid by the agency, you're paid directly by the hospital or the employer mwenye nini our agency wamekutafutia. Then also the other option is the staffing agency. So staffing agency wuna remain kuwa staff wa agency, you work at the contracted number of years zenye mna agree now. Most of the time inakuanga 3 years. Ukimaliza the 3 years unaweza renew now, ama unaweza toka uende ufanye job na mtu mwingine. From what I have heard, nimeongea na several people wenye wamekuja na agencies, wameniambia direct hire is always the best, because agency hakuna kitu wanachukua from you. There's no requirements. You work directly for the hospital. And then if you don't finish the, so for example, uko na staffing agency, if you don't complete your duration ya 3 years, kuna pesa utawalipa. There's a fee that you're supposed to pay back to them. Remember, in most of the cases, they do the application for you. They complete everything. I think ile kitu utalipa tu ni kitu kidogo sana, maybe just a few thousands of dollars, because the hospital or the employer mwenye anakupatia hiyo job, they'll have catered for most of the things. But if you stop your contract kabla hiyo time mlikuwa mmeagree nao iishe, utawarudisha hiyo pesa. But if you do direct hire, mnamaliziananga tu hapo. You know, hakuna kitu unawalipa, wanakuleta, unawalipa fee yenye walikuwa wamekuambia, mnalipana from the beginning. Unaingia job, mnaachana nao, nasema kwa heri. Green card yako you get it 2 weeks after ukishafika hapa US. That's when you get your green card. You can't start the job because ni lazima uko na hiyo green card, and then you also have to have your social security number. So social security number kwa wale wako UK ni kama our NI number, and you cannot work without that number. So but they know at least within the first 2 weeks utakuwa umepata everything, and you need to show your green card to the social security number ndio wajue you are allowed to work here in the US. So a lot of the preparation for most of these jobs, by the way, you do them when you are still outside the US. It's a process that can take up to 1 year or 2 years. It's not a quick process. So most of the things you'll have already completed anyway before you get here. So that's the first agency that I wanted to let you know, your Passport USA. I'm going to leave their description link down below. Ndio ukitaka kuangalia at your own time, you can come and look at your own time. Now I go into the other agency that I'm going to be telling you about, and they are called Aani. Okay. Now with Aani, they also recruiting nurses. If you're a nurse or you're a healthcare professional, and when I say healthcare professionals, it could be things like occupational therapists, psychologists, things like that. Those are the things that they're looking for, theater staff. Anyway, ukiingia hapo kwa website, wanga wamekuonyesha exactly what they're looking for. Na wenye mnakujanga kuniuliza care jobs, hapana, this is not for the care jobs. Hizi ni za professionals peke yake. You have to have a qualification before you can make application for this one. So the other one is Aani. Na Aani pia, they also bringing nurses. You can apply with them. So all you have to do actually is to register your nurse application with them. You send them the documents zenye watahitaji. It's usually in 9 steps? 9 steps. So the first thing you do is you apply online. Then they're going to set up an interview with you. You're going to tell them about your American dream, what you want, what you're expecting, things like that. Then they're going to draft an offer letter. Once you accept the offer letter, then they start the next process, which is your document collection. So, of course, they will want your evidence that you're a qualified nurse, uko na degree, umesomea nini, vitu kama hizo. And then the other thing they will also want is to show that you have completed NCLEX. So NCLEX, hiyo inakuanga exam ya nurses. You have to complete that before you can start the green card process. And IELTS as well, that is for English of speakers of other languages. You also have to complete that. Hata kama by the way uko UK, imagine wanaitisha IELTS. When you're in Kenya, the same thing, they will require that. But the good thing is using an agency, they guide you with everything that you need to do. In fact, you get allocated like a person that is going to be your personal support or personal support worker who's going to walk along the journey with you. Whatever documents are required, you'll be communicating with that person directly on emails. They will tell you what you need. If you're moving with your family, they will ask for the documents for your other family members, my birth certificate, passport, nini, all those requirements, they're going to ask for them. All you do is you send them and they do the filing. In fact, you don't contact at US consulate for anything at all. They do everything for you. They also find you the employer. You don't go looking for the employer yourself. They will hook you up with the right employer. And by the way, this is also very important. It's good to ask them whether they can find you a job in the state of your choice or whether they have jobs in the state where you are going, because I know they have jobs. US in Ikubwa, it has like 50 states, and I know they have jobs in so many states here, but they may not have a job in the preferred state that you'd like to go to. So that's a very important question for you to ask before you sign or accept the offer. Sometimes they can match you with an employer in the state and maybe even in the city that you want. Sometimes they may not. So be sure to ask them that question. But again, usikue nini wa kuchagua, and especially kama unataka kukuja sana desperately before wafunge hizi, kwanza sasa kuambia ati hapana, sitaki kwenda huko, nataka kwenda huku, might limit your options. So anyway, so back to the steps. Once you've had your NCLEX, your review of your English and everything, and they are satisfied that you have everything, then they'll start the green card processing for you. So once they do that, then you're going to arrive in the US in as little as 8 to 12 months. So it can take about a year, like I said, from the beginning of the application process to the time that you arrive in the US. You arrive in the US, you continue with your clinical preparation program. So when you're here, obviously they'll put you into a program. They'll probably even send you to places where you can adjust to life in the US, start to know how you work over here. They call it, it's kind of like a training kind of thing, which is maybe a week or two. But within that time also, you're also waiting for your green card to arrive in the post. You have to have an address. Sometimes it can be sent to your agency, or it can be sent to your host if you have a host here in the US. But at least within 2 weeks, green card yako itakuanga imefika and it finds you in your address. Once you have everything, you begin the work, and that is the beginning of your American dream, and the rest just falls in place. I know I am making it sound so easy and so simple, but imagine it is as simple as that. For the fees, they will sometimes, from my experience, it depends with whichever agency that you're using. Some agencies can ask you to pay something towards your application, and other agencies, they say you don't pay a single penny because the employer pays for everything. So what I would advise is apply to different agencies and then do a comparison of whichever ones are charging and whichever ones are not charging. Now, let me give you another agency. Okay, the other agency I'm going to be sharing with you today, they're called MedPro, and this is actually their blog page. MedPro Healthcare Staffing is another agency that you can apply with, and they can find you nursing jobs here in the US. So with MedPro, what they do is it's another travel healthcare staffing agency. They need to get a labor certification and approval from the US Department for your green card. So they will file for you what is known as the immigration petition, that is the I-40 form. Those are technical terms actually you should not even be worried about because they do everything for you guys. Hizo ni maform tu za hapa US ukitaka kuapply your green card. There's different forms that you must fill. And I was actually surprised hapa US, they still do paper forms quite a lot. As a first world as it is, they still do a lot of paper form application. Hiyo ni kitu moja by the way ilinishangaza. Anyway, hapo nilikuwa nimedigress. They apply that form I-40 with the US Citizenship and Immigration Service, which is the USCIS. And they also file a third-party form known as the Employment Third-Party Preference, which is the EB3 for skilled workers or for professionals, if you're a professional, or for unskilled workers. So for unskilled workers, I had done a video for unskilled workers, and it looks like MedPro can also get people who are not professionals, who don't have that qualification. Pengine people like carers, they call them nursing assistant. Let me not call them carers. People like nursing assistants, you don't have that qualification, but you want to come here as a nursing assistant. It looks like they can apply for you under the unskilled worker category. So again, I'm going to leave all these links for you. Go and read it at your own time. When you have a free time, read all the information. You can see it's quite a lot of information, and go to the different pages. You can click on this link over here. Just go to the different pages. You see this information about the nurses over there. They have travel nurses. So if you want to be like a traveling nurse, they've got different options over there. And then this is for allied. I have no idea what allied is, travel allied. But that is the information they have left over there. And then for their healthcare facilities, they have both long-term contract and short-term contract. Ni kama watu wa UK, if you've ever worked for an agency, unajuanga kuna kuanga na short-term contracts na kuna kuanga na long-term contracts. So that's exactly how they do things over here. Ndio nimeona. So that's another agency that you guys can register with. But remember, I keep telling you guys before you make any application, so this is their page MedPro, before you make any application, before you commit, please make sure you read through the information. Ndio uangalie kama there is any fees that you need to be paying, because some of these agencies are charging, some of them are not charging. So you need to know exactly the ones that are charging and the ones that are not charging before you commit. And like I said, and the final agency, guys, that I'm going to be sharing you with, they're called O'Grady. Let's find them. O'Grady Agency for Nursing. There they are. Okay, hope you guys you can still see. So this is O'Grady, and O'Grady is also a nursing and allied jobs in America, and they are also helping you make those applications. if you're a qualified nurse, if you're a qualified professional kutoka nchi yenyu, unaweza kuja, unaweza make application and unaweza pia kupatia your green card. So this is the nursing program. You can go through the information and you begin your journey to America. So again, all you need to do is register with all of these agencies. And once you have registered with them, they will help you. They will tell you what you need to do. But you can only go with one. By the way, I know I told you can apply to more than one, but you can only commit to one. And the reason why I told you can apply to more than one is because they never get back to you at the same time. So whichever one gets back to you quicker than the other one, I suppose, and maybe they're not charging. Obviously, you'll have read all the information. You'll have made your own informed decision before you make that application. That's who you need to go with, okay? But you can only commit to one. You cannot have two concurrent agencies finding you jobs in the US at the same time. Itakuletea shida ukifanya hivyo, because obviously they'll commit to finding you a job with an employer in the US and maybe the other one is also doing the same. So zitakulana, and also not because of that, it's also because of the application to the US consular. Ukipata two application, hiyo itakuletea shida. So you also need to be very careful hapo not to do two application concurrently at the same time, but you can apply to different agency. Whichever one contacts you first is the one that is the only one that you're going to commit to. So that's what I wanted to share with you. So again, I'm going also to leave links down in the description link. I'm also going to leave referral links. Please use my referral link, because if you use my referral link, I'll also benefit from referring you. You can contact me. I'm actually also on Instagram. If you want to contact me on Instagram, leave me a DM message, or you want to send me an email address, and I can link you with the employers, with the agencies, but only contact me if you're a qualified nurse. This is only for qualified nurses or qualified professionals in the health sector. All right, guys. So you see, guys, that is the information. There are all these agencies that are bringing nurses here on the nursing program. You can choose whichever state that you want to go to, depending on maybe if you've got family or friends that can support you. Once you arrive, you can select the state that you'd like to go to. Sometimes you don't have an option. They send you to whichever state has jobs availability. So it is important that before you make the application, you ask the agency whether they can post you to a state of your choice, or whether they will be posting you directly to the state that they choose for you. Na kama you don't have friends, you don't have any family that can host you, and you're coming fresh from, mali unatoka, na you don't have much of a choice, I would advise chukua hiyo job yenye imepatikana in whichever state, and then maybe you can always move to the state of your choice at a later time. But like you have seen for yourself, opportunities ziko, nursing program ziko, all those that are in the healthcare. Make that application. Don't forget to tell them that you were referred by Sharon wa Baraka. Naweza pataka kitu kidogo hapo. Yes. So that's the information, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and until I come back with another one, for now I say Baraka.